Okay, so last video for chapter 8, so we'll go back to this one. Other financial accountability activities. So aside from the audit, there are other financial services which you can avail of from, an outside party, an accountant or an accounting firm. I'm just going to give you an overview of that. So we've already discussed external and internal audits. External audits. Okay, so review. Review is not required, but if an organization wishes to have their records reviewed, so they can again engage a CPA or an accounting firm for this purpose. So what they do is it's like an internal audit, but the reviewer is only going to make a report to the management. There is no particular type of report to be submitted to regulatory agencies. It's only for the internal use of the management. Okay. Again, it's also checking for errors and checking for fraud as well if there's any presence of it in financials of the company. Compilation is like bookkeeping. Sometimes there are charges who are unable to find a worker who would do their records for them. So instead of them doing this on their own, if they can't find a worker to do it for them, a bookkeeper or an accountant, then they can engage a third party to do it, and they call it compilation services. Okay, so essentially you would provide your documents to them, the OR, the vouchers, and then they would complete these records for you. Okay, so that's the compilation. Again, it's not required. It's only an option for the church if they don't have a worker to do it for them, so they engage a third party to do it. So again, instead of paying someone to do it internally, you pay someone externally to do it for you. Okay, again, there's cost involved. Okay. What else? Other outsourced accounting services. Agreed upon procedures. With regards to agreed upon procedures, you specify what exactly you want the accountant to examine. Okay, let's say you want the PPE records to be examined. Okay, so the accountant would only focus on the PPE records. All the rest may or may not be ignored unless they are related to the records of the PPE. Okay, so agreed upon procedures. It would depend on what the management want to be uh, checked or audited or reviewed. Okay, or what exactly the management want the CPA to perform. Okay. And then advisory services. So this is more on, let's say, feasibility of a project, efficiency of the operations. The management would like the input of a professional accountant to help them in improving their operations, their compliance with laws and regulations, maybe in their records as well. So it's a bit like consultancy. The church is seeking advice from the professional. Okay, and of course, for the professional to be able to do that, they need to have a good understanding of how the organization operates, how complete are their records, what kind of records are they keeping, so that they could provide the advice needed. So these are some of the services, advisory services that they provide. It could be about the internal controls, it could be about the tax compliance, efficiencies in financial operations, accounting treatment for certain transaction types. If the church management is a bit confused how to record a certain transaction, they can quickly ask a professional for their opinion on it, or the correct treatment of it. Okay, and then you have your business-oriented commentary on proposed transactions, let's say uh, programs or activities of the church if they're trying to, start a new program or venture or whatnot. Okay, risk management, and then you have your good governance. Okay, and then you have your internal audits. This can also be outsourced to a third party, but again, the reports would only for the use of the management or internally. Okay. Okay, that's that. This is a sample of an audit report. I'm not sure if this is the same for here in the Philippines, but the structure is the same. But I think the latest development here in the Philippines is that the audit opinion is provided at the beginning of the report, okay, so that it can be easily seen and read, okay. So, but the wording is the same. So this is an unqualified opinion. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the church as of the year end, the changes in its net assets, its cash flow for the year then ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted the in the country or in accordance with accounting standards. Okay, so this is the opinion. And then aside from the opinion, the audit report also includes this statement. The financial statements is the management's responsibility. They are prepared by the management, and the auditor cooperated with the management for the audit. Okay. And then you have also the statement of the auditor's responsibility, which is to examine the financial statements in accordance with auditing procedures, auditing standards. Okay, and then to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free from material misstatement. Material misstatement may be due to, again, errors or fraud. Okay. So you have that, and then you have here your standard review report, but then again, this is not required. You have your standard compilation report, again, also not required, only if the church does not have its own employee or worker to compile the information. Okay, so that's it for chapter 8, audits and other financial accountability activities. Okay, so we end this here. Thank you.